There are so many great things about Broad City, it's hard to encapsulate why the show's so good, but we're going to try. Apart from the fact that it's very, very funny.
I gotta let you go, sweetie. I'm about to start this temp job. Bye-bye. Sorry, I had to take that.
You made that call in the middle of our conversation.
Did I?
The outlandish, raunchy comedy centering around the friendship of two 20-something New York women is a joyful and game-changing comedy thanks to three significant things it gets right. One, it skillfully combines and draws from great comedy influences and forms, including the sitcom, buddy comedy, autobiography, and observational comedy. Two, it makes New York a powerful character we can laugh at, relate to, and recognize. And three, it embodies a kind of casual, everyday feminism that's subtly revolutionary in the characters and the female friendship it presents. So let's look in detail at why Broad City is a groundbreaking achievement in television.
You're not one of those hot girls that says she's gonna text and then doesn't, right?
Was anyone filming that? I'm the hot girl at this bar. Me is. Yes!
Calling my mom. And with your other friends.
It's not easy to immediately label what kind or genre of comedy Broad City actually is. On the episodic level, Broad City draws from the typical American sitcom. It gives us self-contained plots featuring obstacles that are there mainly to let characters endear themselves to us, and how they handle them with their own style and personal code. Failing to achieve goals in sitcoms is normal, even good, and we see this in Broad City as well. Like with long-running sitcoms, we get established gags.
Find out.
Think the catchphrases of the characters and Friends.
How you doing?
I know!
Alana uses her catchphrase,
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes!
Yes! Yes, yes.
a lot. We see running jokes about the gross things Abby has to clean up at her job and her Oprah obsession.
This is an aha moment. This is an aha moment.
Abby's blackout alter ego, a cabaret singer named Val, is slyly mentioned a few episodes before the big reveal.
Val!
The subway cold open has a callback in the two women with pepper-sprayed eyes, exact replicas of Abby and Alana a few episodes earlier. But the series arcs of most sitcoms tend to give us either stability or positive improvement in the characters' lives and personal development. Broad City allows its characters to grow more realistically, with spurts and stops or steps backward. By the end of season 3, Alana gets a sudden shock when she's fired from her job where she does nothing, and Lincoln breaks up with her, no longer happy with their no-strings arrangement.
He met some beautiful queen.
Real queen?
No, a queen like us.
Abby gains confidence to explore more of her personality quirks and nuances.
No more Mr. Nice Abby. No more cleaning up other people's pubes.
But still without being uninhibited like Alana.
What? Alana?
And she sometimes wavers and reverts into insecurity. Unlike some sitcoms where actions are totally forgotten in future episodes, or big changes happen in a single moment, Broad City reflects that transitioning into adulthood is a difficult, slow, and inconsistent process. The show also follows in the tradition of observational comedy, like Curb Your Enthusiasm, Seinfeld, and Louie, which start from mundane, small-seeming premises or problems. Seinfeld was famously and somewhat misleadingly discussed as a show about nothing. Like in Seinfeld or Curb, Broad City runs with a joke until it's exhausted every possibility. The situations escalate in unexpected directions with outrageous, absurdist results, and the comedy results in sly social commentary. Broad City uses humor to analyze the nuances of living in a society driven by political correctness and rigid social norms. And like Louie, Broad City also verges on the surreal, taking some jokes to a point that they feel symbolic, expressive, and fanciful. Another key component of the comedy is the creative autobiography genre. The two protagonists, Abby and Alana, are named after the creators and based on exaggerated versions of their younger selves.
Very exaggerated.
The chemistry between the two is so tangible because it's a heightened version of their real relationship. And the final key comedy genre Broad City incorporates is, of course, the buddy comedy, often called a bromance, but here, since it's about a female friendship, claimed as a bromance. Bromance, or the female buddy comedy, is underrepresented on screen, although this is changing with some other modern successes. But traditionally, most comedies starring women center on romantic love. Broad City parodies the rom-com genre in scenes like the girly shopping montage, which consists of just an awkward high five and trying on one dress.
First one's fine, I think.
Of all the comedy genres working here, the buddy comedy is Broad City's heart, because the most important part of the show is the supportive and undying love between the ladies.
I am Abby's keeper today. I am her mother, sister, father, brother.
Lex, I get it.
Okay.
New York City is one of Broad City's main characters, and the show's version of New York is a unique blend of the ridiculous and the real. The city often serves as the antagonist, providing obstacles that inspire the girls' antics. But even though New York is a tough city the women are pitted against, we don't sense cynicism or bitterness towards it. It's a worthy opponent, inspiring the friends to rise to the challenge, together. Meanwhile, the city's also an ally and a friend that enables their crazy adventures. The absurd nature of the city is the perfect complement to Abby's and Alana's absurd humor. And as much as the show seems to up the city's insanity, it also feels like an accurate representation of a city that truly is mad. Even the utterly ridiculous parts are more or less grounded in the reality of living in New York. The subway encounters scene hits pretty close to home for New Yorkers, from the bulky backpacks, personal grooming, and sexual impropriety to no one offering their seat to a pregnant woman, acrobatic performers, and the empty car that can only mean there's feces on the floor. They're observing a city that we recognize. Many movie or TV versions of New York are glamorous, aspirational, romantic, but Broad City's New York shows us the warts and all, making the less glossy aspects of the city oddly endearing.
The knife and fork mean it's an affordable restaurant, and this is a machete. This is where someone macheted another person in half.
Abby's and Alana's is also very much a 20-something city. They're terrified of the Upper East Side.
My son-in-law is such a disgrace, he went to Cornell.
Their casual outings develop into totally unexpected adventures, full of random meetings that they roll with. And like real 20-somethings, they focus on the here and now. Many New York stories are about the drive to get famous or make it big. But Abby's dream to be a fitness trainer is pretty modest, and so far, Alana is happy doing whatever she feels. Their attraction to New York isn't big money or fame, but the freedom it allows for people to embrace a specific kind of existence, carve out their own thing, and live their so-called best lives. The name of the show, Broad City, conveys how expansive and diverse New York City is. Every secondary character has a fulfilling life and backstory off-screen. As Jon Stewart has observed, Broad City is a comedy that prioritizes joy instead of classic conflict or drama, and the show's attitude to New York is a great example of how it spins problems and obstacles into sources of fun and exhilarating chaos. The show's magic power is to take hardships and the uglier sides of things and turn them into something uplifting.
Seeking air conditioner, free to cheap. Thanks, bye guys.
Bye guys, that's my favorite part. I love that.
Leaving the audience empowered to find the best in their own experiences. The show's title is also reclaiming or repurposing the outdated derogatory slang broad, which originated in the 30s and was usually used to describe a more independent, assertive, aggressive, or loud woman. The counterpoint to everyday sexism and microaggressions,
girls are so pretty. You should smile.
Alana and Abby embody an everyday feminism. These are characters who happen to be feminists, just being themselves, doing real things, and responding honestly to their environment in a way that reflects their beliefs.
If God didn't want us to put our fingers in there, then why did she make them perfectly finger-sized?
Exactly.
Viewers can enjoy watching jokes about tampons, instead of continuing to subtly internalize that periods are something we don't talk about.
Oof, first day. That's like putting your spoon into a molten lava cake. It's like a first bite of a jelly donut. It's like a side of chutney. It's like fruit on the bottom.
Meanwhile, who these characters are represents a radical departure from conventional images we might be used to seeing of women who are worried about pleasing men, obsessed with romance or financial security, or making negative comments about each other or their own bodies.
That suck.
Notable stances on Broad City include extreme body positivity, embracing female and fluid sexuality.
I'm bisexual.
That is true masculinity. You are truly evolved.
And bottomless support of female friendships. Broad City also delves into adventurous topics like polyamorous relationships, sexual identities and labels, experimentation, and masturbation. The show also avoids prescribing any right way to be a feminist or a liberated woman. In relationships, Alana is an exaggerated version of the stereotypical guy. She's proudly promiscuous, oblivious, commitment-phobic.
This is purely physical.
Why does this always happen to me?
And knows laughably little about her long-term hookup Lincoln's personal life.
You know about this? The homemade pasta. He makes a different kind every Sunday night. It's on his blog.
What blog?
The Al Dente Dentist. Do you not talk to Lincoln?
But Abby's on the other end of the sexual spectrum. And while many of us enjoy Alana's totally uninhibited nature, A lot of women probably feel more like Abby, not totally secure or comfortable with everything, navigating their boundaries. So both Abby and Alana reflect real and relatable versions of the female sexual experience. Either way, the show consistently avoids judgments about sexuality. Even when it makes jokes about something like pegging, the jokes aren't directed towards the sexual act. They're aimed at Jeremy's materialistic nature.
It's not my dildo. Mine was a Shinjo, and that's like a cheap knockoff.
$79. I feel like you can get the job done.
The show celebrates difference, but what it won't tolerate is intolerance or anyone who doesn't respect the two women. What's most enjoyable about Broad City's everyday feminism is that it feels like no big deal, like an example, not a conversation starter.
Hey ladies, your staring is making some of the guys feel uncomfortable.
The series does often get compared to Girls, which creators Abby and Alana find a little reductive or superficial.
No, you can watch both. I watch both of those shows. And they're great and they're different characters and it's awesome.
Broad City pushes the edge of what's socially acceptable and plays with the notions of PC culture. Some have criticized it for not being intersectional enough, as the two main characters are white, college-educated, middle-class women with supportive parents. But the show also challenges itself on these same issues, like when Abby says to Alana,
You know that you're so anti-racist sometimes that you're actually really racist?
Through Alana, the show acknowledges that despite good intentions and the desire to be open, white feminists may still be insensitive or guilty of cultural appropriation.
I'm really sorry.
And while the show doesn't fully represent the experiences of all women, it's capturing something specific and addictively relatable. These women aren't the typical role models the media often serves us, so it's cathartic to just watch them, being themselves. What's truly role model-esque about them, though, is the fact that they're more or less comfortable with who they are. We can all learn from their tight-knit, genuine friendship, their knack for fun, and their ability to find the best in every situation.
I would take you on my shoulders, like I'd strap you up, and I'd be like, let's go through hell. Should we go to the subway?